So the kite flyer likes a windy day. The astronomer not as much because it keeps blowing that leaf in the tree across the street into our frame. Okay, although I'm getting a little bit of the shadow of the camera. That's a very good view of both the clouds blowing by, and you see that everything is vibrating on the paper a little bit because I'm leaning on the frame that's holding our screen. But there goes Mercury crossing the sun. Also some clouds. At the lower right, you can see that the sun is leaving the frame of the scope, so I'm going to stop and the leaves are back. Stop and adjust my sighting. And as the wind picks up, I begin to sympathize with Thomas Edison in his attempts to view the solar eclipse of 18 whatever from a chicken coop to block the wind. Hopefully this is just a temporary gust. And suddenly, there is not a cloud in the sky. And we're all set up to view the transit of Mercury. Which is that little dot right in the middle there. And if you're wondering why we project the sun onto a screen and don't just look through the eyepiece at it, that's why. That's where your eye would be. Burn some holes in that thing. Look at that. That would be your eyeball if you'd look through that thing right now. And that's just a little telescope. Moving across my screen faster than it's moving across the sun. If we were to pan over and find the edge of the sun, you'll see it is moving as well as the sun goes across the sky. It'll take Mercury about 5 hours to complete its transit. We're about 3.5 hours in at this point. For another good demonstration of why we don't look through the telescope directly at the sun, has burned all the way through that piece of tape. It's not smoking anymore because there's now just a hole there. Be careful not to get my finger there. Look at that. I can see my car. I've got it back. The reason you shouldn't do the experiment by sticking a piece of tape on your eyepiece is that you get burned tape schmutz all over your eyepiece, and then when you try to look at Mercury again, you can't find it. So I've got the eyepiece cleaned. We've got Mercury back. There it is. Not as dramatic as a total eclipse, but you know, what the heck. If we pull back, there's our whole setup. That's how we're doing this today. If the telescope pointed at the sun, we are not looking through the telescope, because we are not stupid. And we are projecting. We're using a little right angle fitting there so that we can have the screen not catching direct sunlight so our image shows up better. So here's a pair of leftover eclipse glasses, and in case you're wondering, you don't even want to look through a telescope aimed at the sun with eclipse glasses on. Unless you've got a filter for the telescope, don't look through the scope. Use the projection method. You're getting close to the edge of the sun. About 45 minutes more to go. It's amazing how an entire planet looks like just a tiny little bug. Oh, wait a minute. That is a tiny little bug. Really tiny little bug. There's the planet. We're very close to the end. I'm going to try to watch third contact when it touches the edge of the sun and fourth contact when it's gone by naked eye and not shoot video, because there are some effects that happen there that are very subtle and that I can't see through this camera. I probably can't see it all with this scope, but there's a little bit of an effect because the gravity of Mercury bends the light of the sun and confirms some of Mr. Einstein's theories about light and gravity and space. So I'm going to try to observe that. I think I probably won't be able to see it, but we're about 8 minutes from the end. So this is the end of my filming of the Transit of Mercury. Well, the Transit of Mercury of 2019 has just ended. I was unable to confirm by my own observations any of the theories of Mr. Einstein, so I hope somebody else has been able to do that. By the clock, I was able to call the third and fourth contact pretty closely. First and second contact we missed this morning because it was cloudy. But all in all, the best transit of Mercury I've ever seen, and also the only transit of Mercury I've ever seen. That's all I got.